Thank you, Michael, for being with us.
How would you define strategy? What is strategy in very simple terms?
Well, in very simple terms, it's what's going to make a particular organization different and provide a competitive advantage. Basically, competition is destructive when companies are basically competing on the same thing. That forces competition to gravitate to price. Strategy is finding a different way to compete to create a different sort of value for the customer, which allows a company to prosper, to achieve superior profitability.
What is not strategy?
Simply implementing best practices, buying the latest machine, using the internet to communicate with your customers. There are lots of things that managers do that they have to do to actually keep making the company more productive and more efficient and to attain the kind of latest technology and knowledge about management. All those things are a necessity, but they're not strategy. Strategy is not about doing the same thing better. Strategy is about finding that different place for the organization to deliver value. But what makes it challenging is you have to do both of these things at the same time. You got to keep assimilating best practices, but at the same time having real clarity about what's going to make you.
If we're going to have a good strategy, we've got to think clearly about what strategy is. And we've got to separate strategy from the other kind of goals and objectives and issues that managers often think about. On this slide are really the big three mistakes in terms of defining strategy. Mistake number one. My strategy is to internationalize. I hear that kind of thing all the time. My strategy is to consolidate my industry. My strategy is to ramp up my R&D budget. My strategy is to outsource more of my production. Is that a strategy? No. Those are steps that your organization may want to take. They may be good steps. They may be appropriate steps. They aren't a strategy. The strategy is what unique position will we be able to achieve? What's our advantage going to be at the end of the day as we take these steps cumulatively over time? That's the strategy part. The strategy part's about how are we going to be unique, how are we going to have an advantage, how are we going to sustain that advantage over time. The steps we take are not the strategy. But you'd be surprised how many companies get themselves fixated on a particular action that they want their organization to take, and that becomes the strategy. And of course, it then often drives the company literally off the cliff because they kind of don't understand why they're doing it and when they should stop doing it. About strategy, many managers believe that their task is to do what's shown here on the left. Many managers think that strategy is about how to be the best company in the industry, how to be the best car company, how to be the best retail bank, how to be the best insurance company, how to be the best company that makes food. Many managers' frame of reference for strategy is, how do I become the best? And to be the best, of course, we have to have the best product. And we have to have the best production or service delivery process. And we have to have the best supply chain. And we have to have the best information technology. And if we can just determine the best way to compete in our business, then we will be successful. This is what I hear all the time. Strategy is how to be the best. Well, what I've found is that actually that's a very dangerous way of thinking about competition, but it's not strategy. Strategy is not about being the best. You know why? Because there is no best. There is no best way of competing. It all depends on who you're trying to serve. It all depends on which particular needs the company is trying to meet. No company can be successful trying to meet all the needs of every customer. That's impossible. You know, what's the best car? There is no best car. It all depends on who's buying the car. It all depends on how they're using the car. It all depends on their income. There is no best. Strategy is not about trying to be the best. Strategy is about trying to be unique. Delivering something unique to the customer that the competitors are not able to deliver. Some unique value that makes you able to actually meet needs in a way that nobody else is trying to meet or is able to meet. That's what strategy is fundamentally all about. We have to start with the right frame of reference. We're not competing to be the best. We're competing to be unique. We've got to understand how we're going to be unique as an organization. That's the essential core idea of strategy. If we allow ourselves to compete in the same way as our competitors are competing, we'll never win. We'll never win that battle. We have to create a different way of competing that's special to us. That's what strategy is all about. Now, in order to develop a strategy, we have to start by understanding that the fundamental goal of any company is actually superior profitability. Size doesn't matter. Growth doesn't matter. What fundamentally drives success is profitability. If you can achieve excellent profitability, return on capital, that's a clear sign that you are creating real value, real economic value. Growth is good, but only if you're profitable. Size is good, but only if you're profitable. Companies that are good at strategy start with the right perspective about their financial goal. It's easy to be big. It's easy to grow. You can buy other companies. You can introduce new products. You can grow. That's not the hard part. The hard part in strategy is to keep your focus on true economic value. And that requires that really we start by focusing first and foremost on the ability to achieve superior profitability over the long run. Strategy is about putting yourself in a position where you can sustain superior profitability and hopefully grow over time as a company.